Assalamu alaikum. We are into the 16th lecture related to an important and a recently developing subject, organizational psychology. साइकोलॉजी तो आप जानते हैं बहुत पुराना सब्जेक्ट है. जब हम हिस्ट्री एंड सिस्टम्स आपसे बात कर रहे थे तो उस रेफरेंस में हमने आपको बताया था कि ये फिलॉसफी का एक हिस्सा था और उससे निकला. लेकिन ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी जो है ये इसकी रीसेंट डेवलपमेंट है साइकोलॉजी की, एंड दिस इज a development that took place in the 20th century, only, let us say, about 50 to 60 years ago. लेकिन अब ये इतनी रैपिडली इस फील्ड ने तरक्की की है कि इसका इत्तलाक बहुत सी जगह पे हो रहा है. जहां भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, जहां भी लोग हैं, वहां पर ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी के कवानीन का, असूलों का, ऑपरेशंस का इत्तलाक होता है. और वो कौन सी ऐसी जगह है जहां पर लोगों की ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस मौजूद नहीं हैं. इसलिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी इज रैपिडली एक्सपेंडिंग एंड इज एप्लीकेबल टू ए लार्ज वैरायटी ऑफ सिचुएशंस इन ह्यूमन लाइफ. हमने अभी तक एक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक खत्म किया था, एंड दैट रिलेटेड टू परसेप्शन. We will talk about personality today, but before we talk about personality, let us quickly review what we had talked about in the last lecture. पिछले 2-3 लेक्चर्स में परसेप्शन की बात हो रही थी, फिर परसेप्शन से हम एट्रीब्यूशन पे आए, और एट्रीब्यूशन से हमने जिक्र किया इम्प्रेशन मैनेजमेंट का, which was lecture number 15 related to impression management. Let us quickly review that and then we will go forward. हमने आपको बताया था कि impression management is how a person manipulates, changes, distorts the perception of others about him, and that is impression management. In that context, we talked about impression motivation, how in organizations, particularly industrial organizations or service organizations, a person may change impression on the boss about him, and that is called impression motivation. हमने आपको बताया था. The other is impression construction, how a person changes, distorts or modifies his impression on others. तो ये टेक्निक्स हैं दो इम्प्रेशन मैनेजमेंट की, और फिर हमने बताया था इसकी टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है, लोग क्या तरीके इस्तेमाल करते हैं. उसमें हमने आपको 2 ब्रॉड कैटेगरीज के बारे में बताया था: करेक्टिंग बैड इमेज, नेगेटिव इमेज, एंड प्रमोटिंग और एनहांसिंग पॉजिटिव इमेज. ये 2 कैटेगरीज हमने आपको बताई थी. करेक्टिंग बैड इमेज आपको याद होगा इन्वॉल्व्स गिविंग अकाउंट्स, apologizing or offering apologies, and dissociating oneself. और प्रमोशन से मुतल्लिक हमने आपको बताया था 4 of them, और वो 4 क्या क्या थी? Entitlements, using entitlements. Number 2, that is enhancements, अपनी प्रेज को बढ़ाना, अपनी प्रेज की शेयर को बढ़ाना. Obstacle disclosure, बताना कि कितनी मुश्किलात थी लेकिन फिर भी एक शख्स जो है वो अपने गोल की अचीवमेंट में कामयाब हुआ. और चौथा जो था, दैट वाज एसोसिएशन. सो दीज वर द 4 टेक्नोलॉजीज रिलेटेड टू प्रमोशन एनहांसमेंट, एंड दीज वर द टेक्नोलॉजीज ऑफ impression management that people use in all organizations. Let us go forward of this and let us take a look at another interesting topic today, and that relates to personality. शख्सियत. क्या है शख्सियत? क्या हमारा कद काट शख्सियत है? हमारे स्किन का, आंखों का, बालों का रंग शख्सियत है? हमारी तालीम, तरबियत शख्सियत है? हमारा बोल चाल का अंदाज, बैठने उठने का अंदाज शख्सियत है? हमारे कपड़े, हमारी लैंग्वेज, क्या ये शख्सियत है? आपका क्या ख्याल है, क्या है शख्सियत? जी हाँ, आपने ठीक अंदाजा लगाया, ये तमाम चीजें जो हैं ये शख्सियत का हिस्सा है. All of these form a part of personality, which of course you have touched upon in your topic in general psychology, also in experimental psychology. We will study personality from the perspective of, from the angle of organizational psychology. कि इसका personality का organizational psychology से क्या ताल्लुक है? How does personality play a role in organizational psychology? What organizational impacts does it take? How does it impact other people in the organization? These are some of the factors that we would study related to personality in organizational psychology. Old Greeks used a term that they used in their plays, theater, the term persona, P-E-R-S-O-N-A. Persona means a mask. When the old Greeks would present their plays in the theater, on the stage, their actors used to wear masks and become those characters. The word personality has derived from that word, persona. And persona means a mask. We all wear a mask. I wear the mask of an instructor, and then I wear the mask of a father, then the mask of a brother, and then the mask of a runner in the park, a jogger in the park, and then the mask of a husband to my wife, and so on and so forth. These are all masks that one wears, and so do you. And these are all parts of our personalities. We now call them roles that we play. What makes us play these roles? Who are we? When psychologists ask themselves these questions, then they come up with what is called theories of personality. Theories of personality पे मॉडर्न मास्टर्स लेवल पे पूरे सेमेस्टर का कोर्स ऑफर किया जाता है. ये इतना अहम सब्जेक्ट बन चुका है, इतने लोगों ने इस पे गौर खौज किया है, इस पे इतना मटेरियल जमा है कि इट कैन बी टॉट इन ए फुल सेमेस्टर एट द मास्टर्स एंड द डॉक्टरल लेवल्स. हम यहां पर आपको थियरीज ऑफ पर्सनालिटी जो है वो शॉर्टेंड करके पढ़ाएंगे, जिनसे आप पहले भी वाकिफ हैं. Theories of personality refer to how psychologists have understood and explained personality. We will take a look at 3 theories of personality in this context. One called the psychodynamic theories of personality, who see personality as the outcome of psychological forces within a person. One of the most important and prominent and famous theories in this context is that of Sigmund Freud. You are familiar with him. We talked about him in the school of psychoanalysis. And to Freud, personality is what a person's unconscious makes him. He thought that there are 3 parts of a personality: the ego, the id, and the superego, and that these are colored either conscious or unconscious. And he thought that personality is predominantly determined by unconscious forces, unconscious motivations, and that unconscious expresses itself in a person's dreams, in a person's mistakes of everyday life, in a person's mental disorders. These are all expressions of his unconscious, according to Freud. And to him, the unconscious plays a very predominant part in determining the personality of a person. क्या ख्याल है आपका? अनकॉन्शियस का कोई रोल है पर्सनैलिटी की डिटर्मिनेशन में? जी हां, बिल्कुल है. दूसरी थियरी ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी जो है इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही विद इन द रियल्म ऑफ साइकोडायनामिक पर्सनैलिटीज इज दैट ऑफ C.G. Jung. ये भी आप पढ़ के आए थे, मैंने ही आपसे गुजारिशात की थी. इन टर्म्स ऑफ एनालिटिकल साइकोलॉजी, कार्ल गुस्टाव यूंग, a Swiss psychologist who gave us the point of view that personality is also determined, predominantly determined by the collective unconscious. The unconscious that we have inherited from our forefathers as a result of their experiences. And those experiences are preserved in the collective unconscious, according to Jung, in the form of what he called archetypes. Archetypes are different patterns that make us behave in a certain way. That personality, according to Jung, is determined, influenced by the collective unconscious. The third contributor that you need to take a look in this context, the person whose theory you need to take a look at within the realm of psychodynamic theories, is Alfred Adler. You remember he was a disciple of Freud's and learned psychoanalysis from him, but broke off from Sigmund Freud because Adler believed that feelings of inferiority, that inferiority complex, plays a dominant role in determining the personality of a person. To him, Alfred Adler, inferiority complex or inferiority feelings are the motivations, the variables that determine predominantly the nature of personality of a person. These are the three psychodynamic theories. कुछ और theories भी हैं और वो भी देख लेते हैं. The other set of theories is what has been called the behavioristic theories of personality. आपको याद है behaviorism किसके नाम से मुंसलिक है? The term behaviorism is associated with the name of which great psychologist? You're right, J.B. Watson. And remember what Watson had said? Watson had said, we talked about that in History and System also, and he had said, give me a child and let me control his environment, and I can make him a thief or a prince. Remember that? In other words, what Watson was saying was that if you control external reinforcements, you can influence personality. So the behavioristic point or the Watsonian point of view of personality is that personality is what environments write on it. That is the behavioristic Watsonian point of view. The other behavioristic point of view in this context that you may understand and look at in defining personality or in theories of personality is that of Bandura, a Canadian psychologist who puts across the view that yes, it is the contingent factors, the system of reinforcements, rewards and punishments in the environment that determine what a person is going to become. So personality to him is the sum total of contingent external rewards and punishments. Also, he puts forward the view that personality is influenced by role model. Role model means a girl models herself, tries to become like her elder sister and her mother. The elder sister and the mother is a role model for her. She imitates and copies them. The child, the young man, imitates his elder brother and his father and his teachers. And he follows the role model of the teachers and the father and the elder brothers and those that he admires. So role model, imitating somebody that one sees outside in the environment, also impacts personality, according to Bandura. These are the two behavioristic point of view related to personality theory. The third theories in this context, within the context of personality, is what is called the humanistic theories of personality. हमने humanistic psychology को बहुत डिटेल से पढ़ा था, आपको याद होगा. कोई से बताइए, अपने जहन में लाइए 2-3 नाम. Number 1, Carl Rogers. Number 2, Abraham Maslow. Let us take a look at humanistic theories of personality. Carl Rogers says that personality is the realization of one's potential. Every person has been endowed with certain potential, and he is propelled, motivated, pushed from within to live that potential, to fulfill that potential. And that is what makes him to be what he is. According to Carl Rogers and the humanistic point of view, fulfilling one's potential is, realizing one's potential is what one's personality is. The other humanist that you need to look at, or which is very famous in this context and also in the realm of personality theories, is Abraham Maslow. And Maslow says, you remember his theory of motivation? You must have read it in your course on general psychology or experimental psychology. I also talked to you about Abraham Maslow in terms of humanistic psychology when we were talking about history and systems. Do you remember his theory of motivation? His theory of motivation was that motivation is a kind of hierarchy. The lowest motives, then there are higher motives, and then there are higher motives, and then there are higher motives, and then there are the top motives. The top motives he calls the need for self-actualization. And Maslow's theory, Abraham Maslow's theory related to personality is that a person his personality is his push towards self-actualization. Self-actualization makes him a certain kind of a personality. If a person has potential, as Roger says, in sports, and if he actualizes himself, he excels in sports, then he becomes a great person, a great personality in the realm of sports. If someone has a great potential in terms of musical ability, and then he realizes that potential, actualizes that potential, he becomes a great musician. If a person has great potential in mathematics and logic, then the person may become a physicist or a mathematician or a philosopher if he realizes his potential and becomes and expresses his need or motivation for self-actualization. So, a sports person's personality, a singer's, musician's personality, and a mathematician or a philosopher's personality, in the humanistic point of view, in the humanistic theory, is realizing one's potential. These are the three major theories, categories of theories of personality. As you can see, there is some truth in all of them. आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि एक थियरी में सारी कंप्लीट ट्रूथ है, या ये भी नहीं कह सकते कि एक थियरी में कुछ भी ट्रूथ नहीं है. Psychologists, when they have theorized about personality, they have covered a certain aspect. There are other theories also, but at this stage, you are on a safe ground if you are aware of these three main categories of theories of personality. ये तो है बड़े बड़े माहिरीन नफ्सियात के ख्याल में पर्सनैलिटी थियरीज. पर्सनैलिटी से मुतल्लिक एक दो बातें और आपको मद्देनजर रखनी चाहिए, एंड दैट इज कंट्रोवर्सीज. देयर आर मेनी कंट्रोवर्सीज related to personality, but we will talk about two major ones for the time being, and then see what is the relationship of these controversies with the theories, and what is the relationship of the theories and the controversies with organizational psychology. चलिए, अभी हमने theories पढ़ी हैं, 3 psychodynamic theories, 2 behavioristic theories और 2 humanistic theories का जिक्र हमने किया है. आगे चलकर इस चीज में यह भी देखते हैं कि कंट्रोवर्सीज कौन कौन सी हैं. देयर आर 2 मेजर, वैसे तो बहुत सी कंट्रोवर्सीज हैं पर्सनालिटी के टॉपिक में, लेकिन 2 अहम कंट्रोवर्सीज हैं. कंट्रोवर्सी से क्या मुराद है कि जिसके बारे में माहिरीन नफ्सियात समझते हैं कि यह बात भी दुरुस्त है, और कुछ माहिरीन नफ्सियात समझते हैं कि यह बात भी दुरुस्त है. चलिए, आपका क्या ख्याल कि क्या पर्सनैलिटी है वो है? क्या एक शख्स की जहानत, क्या एक शख्स के कदोकाठ, क्या एक शख्स का रंग, उसकी आंखों, बालों और स्किन का रंग, क्या उसका जेंडर, ये तमाम चीजें उसकी पर्सनैलिटी का हिस्सा हैं और इन्हीं से उसकी पर्सनैलिटी बनती है? या जो कुछ उसने दुनिया में सीखा, जो कुछ उसने पढ़ा, जो स्किल्स उसने हासिल की, जो तजुर्बात उसके साथ पेश आए, क्या उनकी वजह से उसकी पर्सनैलिटी बनती है? आपका क्या ख्याल है? एंड दिस इज द फर्स्ट कंट्रोवर्सी रिलेटेड टू personality in psychology and in organizational psychology. Some people regard nature, inheritance, inherited factors as responsible for the formation, the structure and function of a personality. And some people say that it is the environment, it is the environmental influences, it is the nurture. जिस किस्म का उसको माहौल मिला, जो उसके साथ तजुर्बात हुए, जो अच्छी और बुरी चीजें हुई उसके साथ, जिस तरह से लोग उसके साथ पेश आए, जैसे वो अपनी जिंदगी में कामयाब हुआ, जैसे वो अपनी जिंदगी में फेल हुआ, जिस किस्म के लोग उसको मिले, ये तमाम चीजें जो हैं, these make up his personality. This is the first controversy, nature versus nurture. आपका क्या ख्याल है? अगर आपको वोट देना हो तो आप अपना वोट नेचर को देंगे इस कंट्रोवर्सी में या नर्चर को देंगे? क्या ख्याल है? ज़हानत की वजह से शख्सियत बनती है या तजुर्बात की वजह से शख्सियत बनती है? क्या ख्याल है? एक शख्स के जेंडर की वजह से उसकी शख्सियत बनी है या उसके साथ जो लोगों का रवैया था उसकी वजह से उसकी शख्सियत बनी है? क्या इस वजह से उसकी शख्सियत बनी है कि वो बहुत जज्बाती था, या क्या इस वजह से उसकी शख्सियत है कि वो नवाजा था, या इस वजह से उसकी शख्सियत बनी है कि उसने बहुत मेहनत की एथलेटिसिज्म पे? किस वजह से आपके ख्याल में उसकी शख्सियत बनी? कुछ ऐसा नहीं मालूम हो रहा कि ये दोनों चीजें शामिल हैं? कुदरत, फितरत का के अतियात जो हैं शख्सियत में, शख्सियत का वो भी हिस्सा है, और जो माहौल और इर्द गिर्द के हालात ने उस स्लेट पर लिखा वो भी उसकी शख्सियत को बनाने में बहुत अहम किरदार अदा कर रहे हैं. तो पहली कंट्रोवर्सी जो है पर्सनैलिटी में वो ये है कि कुछ माहिरीन नफ्सियात का ख्याल है कि नेचर हम इनहेरिट करते हैं अपनी पर्सनैलिटी, और कुछ माहिरीन का ख्याल है कि हमारी पर्सनैलिटी जो है वो हालात और हवादिस की वजह से बनती है। ये दोनों बातें दुरुस्त हैं अपनी अपनी जगह पर। दूसरी कंट्रोवर्सी जो है वो है व्हाट इज बीन कॉल्ड ट्रेट वर्सेस टाइप कंट्रोवर्सी। Trait, do not confuse the word trait with the word trade. One is spelled with a D. Obviously, you are aware of this. Trait is a characteristic, is a khususiyat. There are many traits in a person's personality. Introversion is a trait. Agreeableness in a trait is a trait. Being shy or not being shy is a trait. Feeling type or thinking type are traits. There are so many traits, so many characteristics that form a person's personality. And then there are types. कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो अपने आप को अपने तक महदूद रखना पसंद करेंगे। कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो अपने आप को अब तक महदूद पसंद नहीं करेंगे। एंड दैट इज द टाइप। वी ऑल्सो डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन टाइप ए पर्सनैलिटी एंड टाइप बी पर्सनैलिटी। टाइप ए पर्सनैलिटी इज somebody who is always in a hurry, who is always deeply involved in some work, who wants to finish the work for 3 days in less than 2 days. Who feels pressurized all the time, who wants to finish the work. Psychologists call this type of a person type A personality. And then there is the type B personality. Type B personality is someone who is more relaxed, who takes things easy, who is not hurried, who finishes a work in its due time. That is the type B personality. What are you? And my question to you is personality based upon a type or a person's type, or is personality based upon traits, a collection of traits? The trait theorists would say that personality is nothing but a collection of traits, and the type theorists would say that personality is a collection of types. That you have a type of personality, and that type of personality determines who you actually are, where you are going, what are your interests, whether you will be this kind of a person or that kind of a person. That will be determined by your type. So this is the other controversy. पहली controversy क्या है कि हमें कुदरत ने बनाया है या हालात ने बनाया है, और दूसरी कंट्रोवर्सी क्या है कि क्या हमारी खुसूसियात हमारी पर्सनालिटी है या क्या हमारी टाइप हमारी पर्सनालिटी है। ये दोनों बातें जो हैं, नेचर वर्सेस नर्चर एंड ट्रेट वर्सेस टाइप, किसी न किसी हद तक दुरुस्त हैं। लेकिन ये बताने का मकसद आपको ये था कि ये दो बहुत अहम मुबाहसे चल रहे हैं, कंट्रोवर्सीज चल रही हैं पर्सनालिटी के टॉपिक में। देखिए, कंट्रोवर्सीज जो हैं उनसे इज्तनाब नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि कंट्रोवर्सीज की वजह से नई नई चीजें सामने आती हैं, नई नई तहकीकात के रास्ते खुलते हैं, न्यू एवेन्यूज कम इनटू बीइंग, old avenues are criticized and rejected, old ideas are criticized and rejected if they are not acceptable. That is why controversies are a good thing. Clashes in the academic world, disagreements in the academic world is a good idea because it promotes healthy competition. It propels people to do more and more research. It propels people to discover new ideas. It propels people to discover what's wrong with old things and how those wrongs can be corrected. इसलिए ये दो जो कंट्रोवर्सीज का हमने पर्सनालिटी में जिक्र किया है, ये बहुत अहम है पर्सनालिटी थियरीज में, और इनको आपको गौर से पढ़ना चाहिए और अपने ख्यालात इनके बारे में बनाने चाहिए आपको. Let us go forward and let us see some of those traits or characteristics in personality that psychologists have discovered that are closely related to organizational psychology. मैंने आपसे गुजारिश की कि पहले पर्सनालिटी से के मुतल्लिक हम कुछ थ्योरेटिकल बातें देखेंगे और फिर उन चीजों का ताल्लुक देखेंगे कि उन तमाम चीजों का ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी से क्या ताल्लुक है. अभी हमने कुछ डेफिनेशंस देखी, अभी हमने कुछ थियरीज देखी, और अभी हमने कुछ कंट्रोवर्सीज देखी रिलेटेड टू पर्सनालिटी. अब देखते हैं कि पर्सनालिटी के बारे में अभी तक जो तहकीक हुई है उसका ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी के साथ क्या रिश्ता, क्या ताल्लुक, क्या जोड़ है, क्या इम्पैक्ट है. इस फील्ड में हमने देखा है that there are 5 traits in personality that are positively related to organizational psychology. Those people, in other words, who are high in these 5 traits in an organization would become leaders in the organization, would be successful in the organization, and would take the organization forward. So from organizational point of view, organizational psychological point of view, when psychologists are selecting people, are recruiting people into organizations, whether the organization is a product organization or a service organization, they are looking for these traits. Let me put it another way. If there are 2 candidates who are equal in all other respects in terms of their experience and qualifications, but one of them, individual A, is high on these 5 traits, and the other one, individual B, is low on these 5 traits, organizational psychologists would prefer that individual A, personality A, joins this organization, and their second preference would be that individual B may join. They would prefer somebody with these 5 traits to be in an organization. Also, organizational psychologists try to inculcate, to bring about, to enlarge, to enhance these 5 traits in people in their organizations. Let me also explain that to you. The 5 traits that I'm going to talk about are those traits which are highly desirable from the organization's point of view. So it is considered one of the important functions of organizational psychologists to increase, enhance these 5 traits in people in an organization. Because if these 5 traits in people in the organization reach a higher level, the organization becomes more productive, the organization becomes leader in its own field. Let us now take a look at those 5 traits. By the way, ये 5 traits जो हैं, ये इनकी आइडेंटिफिकेशन जो है it is based upon research. It is not a theory anymore. Research has shown, number one, that extroversion is a trait in personality that is most required, most essential from the point of view of an organization. If a person is high on extroversion, he is a valuable asset to the organization. If there are two people in organizations desirous of joining an organization, organizational psychologists prefer those who are extroverted than those who are introverted. Extroversion is a personality trait which is very desirable, highly beneficial for the organization. और आप जानते हैं कि एक्सट्रोवर्शन जो है ये युंग की क्लासिफिकेशन का एक हिस्सा है. सीजी युंग याद है आपको, उन्होंने कहा था कि दुनिया को हम दो हिस्सों में तकसीम कर सकते हैं, वो लोग जो एक्सट्रोवर्टेड हैं और वो लोग जो इंट्रोवर्टेड हैं. प्रीडोमिनेंटली एक्सट्रोवर्टेड and predominantly introverted. Extroverted are those people who prefer the company of others, who can relate to others, who rather be with others than be with themselves all alone, whose hobbies are related to social movements. These are the traits, these are the qualities of an extroverted person. An introverted person is somebody who prefers his own company over the company of others. Introverted would rather be with his book, all by himself, or at the most with one or two people. So, from the organizational point of view, extroversion is a desirable trait. The second desirable trait is what's been called agreeableness. The ability to relate to others, the ability to be able to cooperate with them, the ability to be able to work with them, the ability to be able to associate with them, the ability to be able to produce things collectively, do tasks collectively. That is agreeableness. And that is another trait that is seen to be highly desirable from the organizational point of view. So organizational psychologists train people to become agreeable and help select people who are agreeable in organizations. That's two. The third trait is conscientiousness. हर चीज ध्यान से करना, एहतियात से करना, एहतियात को मलहूज़ खातिर रखना, हर चीज में डिटेल की तरफ तवज्जो देना. These are all manifestations, expressions of conscientiousness. And this is a very highly required trait in a person in organizations. The fourth is what's called emotional stability. Keeping one's emotions under control. That is not to say that the emotionally stable person does not express anger or joy or sorrow. He does or she does. But what is the difference between an emotionally stable and unstable person? An emotionally stable person keeps emotions under his control. An emotionally unstable person is somebody whose emotions take control of him. Instead of him or her controlling the emotions, emotions take the better of him or her. And if a person is emotionally stable, if he can control his emotions and express them properly, that is another desirable trait in an organization. And fifth desirable trait in an organization that psychologists look for is openness to experience. A person must be ready to experience new things. After all, if the organization is to go forward, the organization must adopt creative strategies. And those creative strategies also work out in terms of dealing with emotions, dealing with other people. Creativity is not only confined to painting or singing or sculpturing or dancing. Creativity is also involved with dealing with each other, producing that advertising campaign, devising a new technology to work out accounts. All of these are creative processes. And if a person is open to these experiences, trying new things, then a person has a successful trait in an organization. These are then the 5 traits that organizations prefer in a person. Number 1, extroversion. Number 2, agreeableness. Number 3, conscientiousness. Number 4, emotional stability. And number 5, openness to experience. If someone is high on these 5 or more of these 5, then that person is a preferable person for an organization from the organizational point of view. If a person is low on these traits or relatively has lesser degrees of these traits, then he is not that preferable to the organization from the organizational point of view. Before we end today, let us take a look at what we have talked about. We have talked about personality. And in that context, I gave you the idea of the ancient Greeks using masks to show what a person is, to help him act out a certain role. That mask was called persona. And today, the term personality has been derived from that word, same word, persona. So personality is what we are, the masks that we wear, the roles that we play. You wear the mask of a student, you wear the mask of your mother's and your father's daughter or son. You play the role, the mask, you wear the mask of a cricket player or a good social relationing person. These are all masks that you wear. We all wear masks in organizations also. This is what our personality is made of. The second thing that we talked about in this context was theories of personality. And in that context, we talked about 3 sets of theories of personality. मैंने आपको ये भी बताया था कि अब तो पर्सनैलिटी थियोरी जो है वो इतना वास्ट फील्ड हो चुका है कि पूरे सेमेस्टर पे एक पढ़ाया जाता है और इसके जो कोर्सेज हैं वो पूरे सेमेस्टर के मास्टर्स लेवल और डॉक्टर लेवल पे पूरे सेमेस्टर पे इसके कोर्स लिए जाते हैं. लेकिन आप अभी क्योंकि अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल पे हैं, बैचलर्स लेवल पे हैं, इसलिए हम इसको शॉर्टेंड अंदाज में पढ़ रहे हैं. हमने आपको 3 पर्सनैलिटी थियरीज के बारे में बताया था. 1 related to theories of personality which are called or which are named psychodynamic personality theories. That the theories or ideas or suppositions that describe personality in terms of motivations that determine personality. And in that context, we talked about 3 psychodynamic theories of personality. One, that of Sigmund Freud, who said that it is the unconscious that plays the predominant role in determining the personality of a man or a woman. Then we talked about C.G. Jung, who put forward the view that it is the collective unconscious, the experience of hundreds of years that has been transferred to us in terms of what he called archetypes. Our experience, for instance, with our inferior self, man's experience with his inferior self is contained in the collective unconscious in the form of what he calls the shadow. A male's experience with a female is transferred in the form of what he calls the anima. These are the archetypes that he talks about that are contained in the collective unconscious, and he thought the collective unconscious plays a dominant role in determining a personality. तीसरा psychodynamic theorist जो हमने आज देखा वो था आडलर, जिसने कहा था a person's feelings of inferiority determine his personality. ये साइकोडायनामिक पर्सनैलिटी थियरीज थी. फिर हमने बिहेवियरिस्टिक पर्सनैलिटी थियरीज का जिक्र किया, जिसमें हमने जेबी वॉटसन का जिक्र किया था. आप जानते हैं जेबी वॉटसन कौन थे? American psychologist who said that mind is like a clean slate, that a person is nothing but what the environment writes on him. So that is the behavioristic point of view, that whatever experiences a person goes through, that makes up his personality. In that context, we looked at another behaviorist, which is Bandura. And Bandura puts across the view that the contingent factors, the rewards and punishments that are given to a person, determine his personality. And that the role models that he follows determine his personality. And the third theory that we talked of, set of theories that we talked of in this context, was the humanistic theories. That is, the first one within the humanistic was Rogerian theory, who said that man's personality is his push towards realization of his potential. The other humanistic theory that we talked about was that of Abraham Maslow, who put forward the view that it is the self-actualization, his motive of self-actualization, which is a major determinant of his personality. ये तो हमने पर्सनालिटी थियरीज के बारे में बात की और हमने देखा कि इन सब में कुछ ना कुछ थोड़ा सा element of truth is involved. Then we talked about two controversies. And the controversies were whether it is what you inherit determines personality, or whether it is the environment that writes and the experiences that you go through. That was one controversy, and we saw that both of these things are correct. Then we took a look at the other controversy, which was trait versus type controversy. Is it the characteristics that determine personality, or is it the type of personality that determine characteristics, influence characteristics and determine personality? So these are the two controversies that we talked about. And then we saw 5 of those traits in personality that impact, that have a great relevance to a person's behavior in the organization. The organizational psychologists discovered that those 5 traits were extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, and openness to experience. You remember, extroversion is when somebody is more sociable, outgoing. You remember, agreeableness is when somebody can deal with other people. You remember, conscientiousness is when you are interested in details and putting them right. And you remember, emotional stability, that you have control over your emotions, that emotions don't control you, you control your emotions. It is not to say that you suppress or do not express your emotions. You do express your emotions, but you do not let emotions take control of you. That is what is meant by emotional stability. And the 5th trait in that context was openness to experience. A person who is more inclined to experience newer things in life, in the organization, he is more agreeable, he is more preferable to the people in the organization. These are the 5 traits that we saw were closely related to success of a person in an organization, to the overall organizational success, to his ability to draw pleasure from his job. Drawing pleasure from the job is what is called job satisfaction. Somebody who is high on these 5 traits is seen to be high on job satisfaction. Somebody who has these traits to a higher degree falls sick less frequently in an organization. Somebody who is higher on these 5 traits is more creative in an organization. Somebody who has these 5 traits, he has more attraction for his organization. All of these things, his creativity, his attraction for the organization, his agreeableness for the organization, all of these things are extremely valuable from the organizational point of view. And that is why these 5 traits are so preferable. मैंने आपको ये भी बताया था कि ये 5 ट्रेट्स जो हैं ये कोई थ्योरेटिकल बेसिस नहीं है, बल्कि ये 5 के 5 ट्रेट हमसे मेरी मुराद माहिरीन नफ्सियात ने तहकीक करके डिस्कवर किए हैं. So these 5 traits, which are agreeableness, emotional stability, openness to experience, extroversion, and conscientiousness, are closely related to organizational psychology. We'll talk more about personality in the next lectures. Do look up this lecture. Do discover new things related to personality. And until we meet again, Khuda Hafiz, God be with you.